Welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah Blackwell, and today I have a big old book haul. So I have, I think, like 13 physical books and 3 ebooks to haul today, and I just wanted to go ahead and do this because I really don't want things to get out of hand. And like, I also am thinking about putting myself on a book buying ban. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. This is a lot for me because, I mean, I know some people do hauls where they have like dozens of books, but I mean, I don't get a bunch of book mail or anything like that. I'm still like a new channel. So yeah, this is a lot of books, and I just want to go ahead and haul them so I can get them put on my shelves. So I'm not going to go into extreme detail about these books because, as y'all know, I don't really go into a lot of detail about books because I just don't want things to be too spoilery, and I like to really not know too much before going into a book, so I kind of take that philosophy along with me when I'm describing books to y'all. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into this haul. I'm going to start with the 3 books that I hauled an ebook for. The first book is The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams. This is a paranormal epic fantasy story that I don't know much about because from what I hear, it's a little bit complicated of a world. I think that it's a very unique world building system, and I just hear really wonderful things about this trilogy, so I'm looking forward to getting started on it. All I really know about it is a paranormal fantasy with horror elements that is about an empire on the brink of collapse. That's really all I know. I think it actually has like some sort of unique fairy vampires of some sort. I don't know. Some unique creatures for sure from what I've heard about. Hopefully I'll be able to pick that up soon. The next book on my list is Kink Camp Hunted by Adriana Anders. And this features primal play, and it's like set at like a kink hotel of some sort. And I don't really know too much about it other than the fact that like the heroine doesn't know who it is she's playing out these scenes with, because he's wearing a mask and you do as the reader, but she doesn't. And I've just heard some good things about it, and so I want to try it out. And finally, the last ebook that I have hauled is Tessa Bailey's My Killer Vacation, and this is like supposed to be a cozy mystery romance, and so I love the combination of those two genres. Basically, our main character goes on vacation to Cape Cod and somehow gets caught up in a murder mystery, and there is romance ensuing and mystery solving ensuing, and I'm here for it, and I definitely want to check it out. I missed out on reading this over the summer, so we'll see if I can fit it into my fall TBR. I might not, but I'm glad to have it. Now for some physical books. The first book I'm hauling is Anne Rice's Interview with a Vampire. I have heard about this book a lot lately. I think that there might be some kind of a reboot coming out, I think there might be like an adaptation coming out, but I'm not sure. But a lot of people have been reading this, and it's making me want to read it. It seems to be like a modern day classic. I think it might be a little spicy. I think it is paranormal fantasy, and I think it's just kind of like a modern classic in the vampire genre, so I definitely want to read it. The next book I have is paranormal as well, but it is more of a cozy-ish book, and I think that there might be a romance in here too. It's The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. This is about Mika Moon, who has to hide her magic and keep her head down to stay away from other witches, because if witches' powers mingle in this world, basically it draws attention, so they try to keep it separated from each other. But she is called to Nowhere House, where she's supposed to be teaching these 3 young witches how to use their magic, and the librarian of Nowhere House just might be a love interest in this story. So I really want to pick this one up and read it hopefully really soon. I'm thinking of including it in my next witchy vlog, but we'll see if I can fit it into my TBR. Next, I have A Court of Solar Flames. This is the new Barnes & Noble edition, and this was one of my favorite books that I read this year. It's the most recent installment in the ACOTAR series by Sarah J. Maas, and this one actually follows Nesta. The first 3 books follow Farah. I'm not going to go into the whole synopsis because at this point, especially like we're well into it, I can't really tell you anything about this story without spoilers. But I will say it follows Nesta, who is the sister of Farah, and it was really good. This is probably my favorite book in the series so far. Next, I have Eric LaRocca's Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. That is the name of one of the short stories in this bind-up, but this is a bind-up of several short stories by them, and I don't know much about them, but I have heard a lot of like hype about this story, and then I wanted to buy the novella Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke, but they stopped selling it by itself because this bind-up was coming out. So I went ahead and pre-ordered this, so I'm looking forward to reading that and then the other short stories in this collection. They're basically just short story horrors or novellas, and I've heard some good things. The first short story in here is Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke, and that is about like an internet conversation between 2 women. I believe one might be in prison. I'm looking forward to picking this one up. Next, we have Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. This is a book about the suffragette movement in 1893, and these women who come together, these sisters who come together and delve into the old magic of their bloodlines back when witches existed and use that magic to earn the vote somehow. So basically a little bit political, a little bit historical, a bit magical, and I am looking to pick this one up soon as well. The next one I don't think needs much introduction because everyone is talking about it, and that's Babble by R.F. Kuang. This is a dark academia story. And the main character is Chinese, and he goes to Oxford to study language because in this world, language is magical somehow. There's magic that is created from translating languages. And so it's a question of like good versus evil, like how far will you go, morality, that kind of theme. But with dark academia and fantasy, I've had some mixed feelings about dark academia in the past, but I have enjoyed the dark academia that I read that was also fantasy, so I thought that this might be a good one for me to pick up. Next book I have is The Last to Vanish by Megan Miranda. I really enjoyed Such a Quiet Place by her, and I wanted to pick up more by her. This is her newest release, and it's set in the Appalachian Mountains. So, it's set in North Carolina, and I just really wanted to pick this one up next if I'm looking at all of the books that she's written because it is set so close to home for me. I just thought it'd make it even spookier reading this, knowing it's like set near me kind of thing. So our main character basically works at an inn in Cutter Pass, and the town is known for a notorious history because 6 visitors have vanished there in the past. And then a journalist comes to investigate this area where people keep vanishing, and then he vanishes. So I think this kind of goes into her possibly investigating all of these vanishings and investigating like where this journalist might have gone. And so she kind of just inserts herself into the case. And so I love books like that where like a random person inserts themselves into an active investigation. I just love that. Mix that with it being set in the Appalachian Mountains, and I'm like all in. Plus, like I said, I have enjoyed Megan Miranda's writing in the past, so I'm looking forward to picking this up and hopefully sometime soon. It's not on my TBR this month, but I might just have to pick it up. I have another new release thriller here, and it's The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. Everyone and their mom has been talking about this book recently, and I really want to read it. It is about a woman who basically, when she was in college, got involved with a sex cult, and then when her friend goes missing in that same area many years later, she goes back to where she went to school to investigate what may have happened to her friend. And I hear it is extremely dark, lots of trigger warnings. and it also involves a podcast, which I love a podcast element. So yeah, and I've heard nothing but good things about this book, and I really want to pick it up soon. I went through like a whole phase where I got like obsessed with all those cults in the Western US, and I got really like obsessed with a bunch of documentaries about them. And so I'm wondering if this is gonna like bring me back to that or what it is, but we'll see. I haven't read many cult books, and I want to. So we'll see how this goes, but I'm really looking forward to it. I also own In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by the same author, but I still haven't read that one either. Hopefully I'll get to that sometime soon. My TBR is flippin' ridiculous. The next two books I have here, I'm just going to show them real quick together because they are both nonfiction that are related. One is Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, and the other one is the Witch's Almanac, the moon. This kind of goes through the moon cycles and the holidays and everything like that. It also has some pretty cool articles and some information about some herbs and things, much like a regular almanac. And for the magical herbs book, this one's really cool because it actually goes through like every herb and its magical properties. It's probably like the most reputable herb encyclopedia that you can get. I've actually really learned a lot already from it, and I love having this on my shelf. It's really useful. The next book I have on my list is Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Seanan McGuire. This is the second book in their Wayward Children series, and it is a series about these children who have gone through portals, through secret doors or secret wardrobes or what have it be, and have entered another world. Like, imagine like Alice in Wonderland or the kids from the Narnia series. So they've gone to this other world and then they come back, and they are having trouble dealing with the with basically the culture shock of the real world. And so they go to this school for magical children that is there for helping them basically deal with reality. And it's really whimsical. It's really beautifully written. When I finished the first book in this series, Every Heart a Doorway, I was planning on picking this book up as soon as possible, and then I just never did, and that was probably at least maybe 4 months ago. So I really want to get to this soon. I mean, it's just a novella. All the books in the series are a novella, but you know how it is. And so I am looking forward to picking this one up. Second to last, we have Legacy Witches by Cass K. Cass sent this to me in exchange for an honest review, and I talked about this on my recent vlog, my witchy reading vlog. So if you want my in-depth thoughts on it, you can check it out there. But this is about Viviana, who returns home to Salem, where her family has been witches and has been living there and practicing magic for hundreds of years. Her mother has passed away, and so she is returning to her house to basically deal with the funeral and try to get the house sold. The house is sentient, and it's really cool how her and the house like immediately get into an argument when she first arrives back there. Another interesting element is the fact that our main character does see ghosts, and she often experiences them replaying how they died. This book is like a cozy mystery and a horror combined. It is paranormal fantasy mystery, but it is very dark. There's lots of trigger warnings, so make sure to check them. But it's very dark, but it's also really a fun time at the same time. So if you want my complete thoughts on this book, definitely go check out my recent reading vlog. I will link it down below. Finally, I have Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. Now, I was planning on reading this. This was on my September TBR, but I think I'm going to move my prompts around and just like replace them with different books for a couple of things, because I actually want to read this for a Blackoween in October. So I think I'm putting this off until October, and we'll be reading it then. But this is a witchy horror book about a girl who wants to learn more about her mother and her mother's history with witchcraft, and she ends up being lured into this deep, dark forest where no one is supposed to go, and somehow starts learning more about witchcraft and or any possible powers she or her mom may have had, and just trying to connect with her mother. So there's going to be those conversations, I would imagine. There'll be those conversations of paganism versus Christianity, strict Puritan ways versus nature, and I love that conversation, and so I'm looking forward to reading this. And I've heard nothing but good things. And I've also heard that it's quite gothic feeling. And I love gothic vibes. I love gothic books. I really liked Mexican gothic. And I'm planning to read a few gothic books in October, hopefully. So we'll see. But hopefully this will be one of them, because I do plan on putting this on my Blackoween TBR. If you want to learn more about Blackoween, I'm going to link everything down below on that so you can check out the announcement videos and all that good stuff. Okay, thank you guys for sticking with me for this haul. I tried to make it quick. I really don't like to go into a bunch of detail about books that I've especially never even read. So I don't think that this ended up too long, which I am happy about. But if you liked this video, please click the like button and comment down below and let me know what the most recent book that you hauled was. I would love to know. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, and you can click the notification bell as well if you want to be notified every time I post new videos. All of my social media is going to be linked down below so that you can check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and Goodreads, and all that good stuff. Until next time, fellow readers, keep reading and living your best life.
Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away.